Hi dear students, this class we are going to discuss another idea, that is a multinomial theorem. Very important idea, not only for this chapter binomial theorem, it is required for the permutations and combinations also. Let's participate in the discussion. X plus y whole to the power of n, you know the expansion, summation r is equal to 0 to n, ncr into x to the power of n minus r into y to the power of r. The same we can write in this way also. Sigma r is equals to 0 to n, ncr we can write it as n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial into x to the power of n minus r into y to the power of r. Now what I am doing, observe here, summation n factorial divided by, I am assuming this one as r minus 1 and this one I am assuming as r2. This one I am assuming as r1, this one I am assuming as r2. That's why I can write r1 factorial into r2 factorial into x to the power of r1 into y to the power of r2. Sir, here r is not there. What we have to write the summation? Yes, this summation we have to expand in such a way. These two powers is always equal to n. We have to expand in such a way. This sum of the powers is always equal to n. That's why the powers sum must be equal to n. We have to expand this sigma in such a way. r1 plus r2 must be equals to n. r1 plus r2 is equals to n. So this is the binomial theorem what we know. The same extension I am going to discuss for the trinomial. What we can write, x plus y plus z whole to the power of n. Now that can be written as summation n factorial divided by r1 factorial into r2 factorial into r3 factorial into x power r1 into y power r2 into z power r3. We have to expand this summation in such a way. This powers summation must be equal to n. That's why this sigma we have to expand in such a way. r1 plus r2 plus r3 is equals to n. Now the same discussion we are going to do like this. x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus and so on plus xp whole to the power of n. That we can write it as summation n factorial divided by r1 factorial into r2 factorial into r3 factorial into and so on rp factorial into x1 power r1, x2 power r2, x3 power r3 and so on, finally xp power rp. That summation we have to expand in such a way. These powers sum must be equal to n. r1 plus r2 plus r3 plus and so on rp must be equal to n. Sir, in this expansion I know the number of terms is equal to n plus 1. But what about the number of terms in this expansion? Either here the number of terms, in this expansion the number of terms, either in this expansion the number of terms, or in this expansion the number of terms, nothing but the number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. The number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. R1 is equal, because we are saying R1 plus R2 is equals to n. For this equation, the number of non-negative integral solutions. How many non-negative integral solutions are there? Those many terms are present here. Because here, if 0, then here we have to give n. Here 1, then here we have to give n minus 1. Here we are giving n minus 2, then we have to give 2 here. 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. These are all non-negative integral solutions. That's what we are going to discuss now. the number of terms in this equation, in this expansion, is nothing but the number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. The number of terms in this expansion is nothing but the number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. That idea I am going to discuss. Very, very important idea. Try to follow. So here we are going to discuss about x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus and so on plus xr is equals to n. For this equation, I am going to find out the number of non-negative integral solutions. How to find out? For that, what I am doing is, for this x1, I am considering one box. For x2 also, I am considering another box. For x3 also, I am considering another box. Like that. For xr also, I am considering another box. Like that, how many boxes are there? These boxes are R boxes are there. In every box, I am keeping like this: x power 0, x power 1, x power 2, plus and so on, plus x to the power of n. What is the meaning for this? In place of x1, you can give 0, you can give 1, you can give 2, you can give n also. That is the notation. This box represents for x1 values. In place of x1, you can give 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or and so on n. Okay. Similarly for x2 also same. X power 0, x power 1, x square plus and so on plus x to the power of n. So meaning is what? I am writing x power 0 means in place of x2 you may write 0. X power 1 means in place of x2 you can write 1. Power denotes what we are substituting in place of x2. Power denotes what we are substituting in place of x2, right? So this is for x1, this bracket is for x2, this bracket is for x3 and so on. The last bracket is for xr. In this multiplication, we have to find out the coefficient of x power n. Number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation is nothing but, in this multiplication, in this entire multiplication, the coefficient of x to the power of n. How? Observe here. Here x power 0 multiplied with x power 0 multiplied with x power 0, last also multiplied with x power 0 and the last term x power n. What is the meaning for this? X power 0, x power 0, x power 0, x power 0 into x power n. This is one particular term in this multiplication. What is the meaning? Here we are giving 0, here also we are giving 0, here also we are giving 0, here also we are giving 0, but this is n. This total sum we are getting n. For this equation, this is a solution or not? Next, here x power 0 only. Next I am taking x power 1. Next I am taking x power 1. Next I am taking x power 0. Next also I am taking x power 0. Next I am taking x power n minus 2. So what is the meaning for this? Here 0, here 1, here also 1, next 0, next 0, but here we are taking n minus 2. You can observe this total sum we are getting n or not. For this equation, this is also one of the solution. So this is one term, because this multiplication, this is one particular term. In this multiplication, this is another particular term. This term coefficient is x power n only. Sorry, this multiplication is x power n. Here also you will get x power n only. Now the terms multiplication, the terms, how many terms containing x power n? How many terms involving x power n? This is one, x power n. This is another one, x power n. Like this, how many are there? Nothing but the coefficient of x to the power of n. That is nothing but the number of terms in the earlier discussion. Okay. So that's why we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of n. We have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of n in this multiplication. That means we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of n in 1 plus x square plus and so on plus x power n whole to the power of r. Because the same type of brackets r are there. That's why we got whole to the power of r. That means we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of n in, this is in GP of n plus 1 terms. So we can write that one as a into 1 minus r to the power of n plus 1 by 1 minus r whole to the power of r. Right? Because this is in geometric progression with the first term as 1, common ratio is equal to x with the number of terms as n plus 1. So that we can write. Now this is equals to 1 minus x to the power of n plus 1 whole to the power of r into 1 minus x whole to the power of minus r. In this multiplication, we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of n. But observe here, this expansion what we will get, rc0 minus rc1 into x to the power of n plus 1 plus and so on is multiplied with 1 minus x whole to the power of minus r. You know this expansion is always the rising power of x. This expansion is always the rising power of x. 1 plus x square, x cube, x power 4 and so on you will get. So power is rising power of x only. But here you can see, except the first term. If you multiply these terms with here, you will get the power as more than n. We require the coefficient of x power n only. These two we are multiplying except the first term. In all the remaining terms multiplication, because x power n plus 1 multiply, the power we are getting more than x power n. So that's why coefficient of x power n in this expansion, coefficient of x power n in this expansion is nothing but the coefficient of x power n in the expansion of 1 minus x whole to the power of minus r. That means rc0 is 1. 1 multiplied with this. 1 multiplied with this. The coefficient of x to the power of n we have to find out. Now you know the coefficient of x to the power of n in this expansion is nothing but n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. In the expansion of this, the coefficient of x to the power of n, earlier we discussed, that is nothing but n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. Okay, so there ends the matter. That's why the number of non-negative integral solutions, the number of non-negative integral solutions for that equation is given by n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. In the similar way we can do the number of x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus and so on plus xr is equals to n. If you want to find out the number of positive integral solutions, what is the difference? Non-negative means from 0 onwards. Positive integral solutions means from 1 onwards. That means you have to start from this term onwards. X, every bracket consisting of x power 1. So write the number of positive integral solutions. Proceed in the similar way. You will get the number of positive integral solutions for this equation is n plus n minus 1 c r minus 1. Right? So this is the number of positive non-negative integral solutions, whereas this one is number of positive integral solutions for the equation. So that is about the discussion of the multinomial theorem. Just we are going to discuss a few applications for this. Observe here. This is x plus y plus z whole to the power of n. In this expansion, we want to find out the number of terms. You know how to write this one in the general form. Summation n factorial divided by r1 factorial into r2 factorial into r3 factorial into x to the power of r1, y to the power of r2, z to the power of r3. We have to expand the summation in such a way r1 plus r2 plus r3 must be equal to n. The number of terms in this equation, the number of terms in this expansion is nothing but the number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. That is nothing but number of non-negative integral solutions n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1, right? So that is nothing but n plus 2 c2. These many terms are there in this expansion. As you know, x plus y whole to the power of n. In this expansion, the number of terms is equals to the number of terms in this expansion. How to do? This can be written as summation n factorial divided by r1 factorial into r2 factorial into x power r1 into y power r2. We have to expand the summation in such a way r1 plus r2 is equal to n. The number of terms in this expansion is nothing but the number of non-negative integral solutions for this equation. That is nothing but n plus 2 minus 1 c 2 minus 1. That is nothing but n plus 1. You know the number of terms in this expansion is n plus 1. So one more question, the last question we are going to discuss. The question is given in this way. So this is the question, he is asking 1 plus x square minus x cube whole to the power of 8. In this expansion, we have to find out the coefficient of x to the power of 10. Coefficient of x to the power of 10 we have to find out in this expansion. Come on, tell me what is the general term, how to write this? Can be written as summation 8 factorial divided by r1 factorial into r2 factorial into r3 factorial into 1 power r1 into x square whole to the power of r2 into minus x cube whole to the power of r3. We have to expand this summation in such a way r1 plus r2 plus r3 must be equal to 8, right? Now we have to find out the coefficient of x power 10, right? The first condition is we got already r1 plus r2 plus r3 must be equal to 8, and we have the second condition. What is that second condition? 2 times r2 plus 3 times r3, 3 times r3, that is the power of x power 2r2 plus 3r3, x power 2r2 plus 3r3, that must be equal to 10, right? So satisfying these two equations, what are the values of r1, r2, r3? Just wait, I am taking r2 is equals to 0. R2 is equal to 0 means R3 is equal to fraction. Here R1, R2, R3 must be positive integers. That's why R3 is equal to 0 not possible. R2 is equal to 0 not possible. 1 also not possible, because if R2 is equals to 1, you will get R3 value as 8 by 3. Next, R2 is equals to 2. When the value of R2 is equals to 2, you will get what is the value of R3? 2 2s are 4. 10 minus 4 is equal to 6. 6 by 3 is equals to 2. That's why R3 value is equals to 2. Now tell me what is the value of R1? R1 plus R2 plus R3 we have to get 8. So 2 plus 2, this R1 value must be 4. So R1. Next 2 is over. If you take 3, 2 3s are 6, 10 minus 6. No. Next we are taking 4, 2 4s are 8, 10 minus 8, 2 by 3. No. Next R3 is equals to, we are taking 5. What happens? If you are taking R2 is equals to 5, 10 10 cancel, we are getting the value of R3 is equal to 0. But what the condition we have? R1 plus R2 plus R3 must be equal to 8. That's why the value of R1 is equal to 3. So these are the R1, R2, R3 values. Now I can write the coefficient of x power 10 as 8 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 2 factorial into 2 factorial into 1 power 4 into minus 1 whole to the power of 2. When I substituted R2, R3, R1 values there, this is the coefficient of x power 10. Next, 8 factorial divided by R1 is equal to 3 factorial, R2 is equal to 5 factorial, R3 is equal to 0 factorial into 1 power 3 into minus 1 whole to the power of R3, that is equal to 0 only. So this is also the coefficient of x power 10. This is also the coefficient of x power 10. That's why 8 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 2 factorial into 2 factorial plus 8 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 5 factorial. This sum is the coefficient of x to the power of 10. So that is the discussion regarding multinomial theorem. Okay, bye bye.